The Cap and J Hood podcast is sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Go to Tito'sHometownTales.com and hear the stories of Chicago's defining sports moments through the lens of your favorite ESPN 1000 hosts. That's Tito'sHometownTales.com.
It's Cap and J Hood on Chicago's Home for Sports. Follow the show on Twitter at CapJHood. This is ESPN 1000.
Just after 9, it's Milwaukee Day as Hoodie and I are heading to the Cubs at Brewers game today with some of our fine listeners and sponsors. Thank you, Windy City Limos, for the luxury motor coach. Looking forward to that.
I saw it in the email. Pretty nice.
Pretty sweet ride.
Pretty nice. Looking forward to it.
So thank you, George Jacobs. Be fun. 312-332-3776. So is Phil Jackson, as Scottie Pippen has alleged, a racist?
This story will not go away, Cap. This all stems from Scottie Pippen's conversation with Dan Patrick of the Dan Patrick Show, where he alludes to it and just kind of leans into it, saying that Phil was racist for not allowing him to be able to take last shots. Our good friend Jack Silverstein on Twitter, read Jack, is a great follow on Twitter.
Awesome.
Gave us, I know you saw this, right?
Yep.
He gave us examples of Tony hitting last-second shots, getting the ball. Some of those times, Scottie was in a suit, was not in the game.
Correct.
You saw this, right?
Yeah. Well, one of those was because
he wasn't going to have
because
I was like, you know what? I'm not going to f*** my summer up.
So he sat there in a suit and tie rehabbing while Tony was draining game winners.
That's correct. At least 3 that he found.
Correct.
On the old sports channel. He was able to dig it out, and we saw it for ourselves.
Okay, so yesterday, our friend Mark Carman from Fansided.com, he's a dear friend, and Carm reached out because he's interviewed him before to a guy who he has a relationship with, Shaquille O'Neal. And he asked him that direct question because Shaq played for Phil Jackson. Here is their interlude. Take a listen.
Scottie Pippen, top 50 player, he's out here and he's calling Phil Jackson a racist. Where is this coming from? Of course, you played for Phil. Do you have any reaction to what Pippen's been saying? He's took a run at Kevin Durant too.
You have to think about it. He hasn't played how long?
Oh, we got 2 decades now.
Okay, and I heard in the business sector he's coming out with a brandy, and he's coming out with a book.
Yeah,
it's probably just all promotions. Really, I don't want to get involved with other people's beef, but Phil's definitely not a racist. I don't know what's going on with him and Durant, and what he said about Barkley made a lot of sense. But again, I'm just like you. I'm just reading it, going wow, going ooh, going ah. I don't want to speculate, but I do know in our line of work that he's coming out with a new drink and he's coming out with a new book. So maybe this is all marketing.
He said that Mike was in the huddle basically doing the last dance in 1997, speaking to the cameras. I'm not saying Mike's not calculated, but that's a level of calculation. Right? I mean, in the moment of Game 6 of the finals,
yeah,
he's thinking about a movie in 20 years?
Yeah, that's nice.
Here's another thing, Shaq. There's nothing wrong, at least in my mind, with your best skill is not hitting the game-winning shot. Phenomenal defender. Phenomenal scorer, but not the shot, and he wants to defend against that. He's still in the Hall of Fame. There's nothing wrong with that.
And you know what? When it comes to closing games, me and him are in that same category. I think I only hit 1 game with a shot my whole career, but you get in for what you're known for. He wasn't known for that, but he was known for other things that helped him propel to win. He's definitely an important piece of that franchise.
I'm also thinking back to you guys taking him on in Portland. If you were that guy in the fourth quarter, maybe that comeback doesn't happen.
That's what that's what I be saying, like when I be hearing some of these guys talk, but this ain't my beef. So, me and Scottie had our little Instagram, verbal, Twitter exchange, and it was fun. We saw each other, we laughed, and we it's all good. No, this is what we do is that we talk trash. It's only a small percentage where it gets out of hand.
If you could have one teammate between Scotty or Chuck, who you picking?
I'm going to go with Scotty.
Fits better with you, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so you heard him say Phil is not racist. And he talked about he's trying to sell a brandy and a book. It's bourbon. But that aside, when you hear Shaq, who he never shies from an opinion on anything, what do you think of that?
I mean, that is Shaq's experience working with Phil, feeling that Phil is not racist. And so that's his opinion. Scotty, the only thing I've said several times now regarding Scotty is that he held on to this for 27 years. First of all, if that's the case, that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
He held on to this for a long time and felt like he was undermined by by Phil, and feeling like he should have had the last shot because he was next in line without Michael Jordan. To me, it's about team. I don't care who takes the last shot. Who's going to help us win? If it's not me, I'd expect my teammate to help me win too. So it's a deeper dive than just him being concerned about some last-second shot. To me, to me, it's really trying to sell that booze and that book more so than anything else. But I haven't heard that about Phil Jackson at all until Scotty said that. We reviewed yesterday the posse comment he made about LeBron James' group, and Phil apologized for it. I think that was out of line. It was out of touch, if nothing else. But this whole thing where Phil's a racist because I didn't get the last shot, that's selfish, man. Yeah, I'm sure you want to take the last shot. And he's had plenty of game winners. So why in that particular situation with Tony does that eat at him? Why does that eat at him so much?
It obviously has been a burr in his saddle for 27 years.
Michael Jordan took a lot of great shots, Cap. But so did John Paxson, so did Steve Kerr, so did some of the other players. You got to empower them, too. We got to remember this, too, right? All the championship teams that you and I have seen over the years, especially in the NBA, right? We know who the stars are, but the players that are off the bench, the guys that are the others that are supposed to help the team, those players matter, too. You want them to hit big shots, too, so everyone's raised at the same level.
Well said. 312-332-3776. Lewis is in Hyde Park. Hey, Lewis.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, man? Lewis?
Hey, I just wanted to make a comment that Scottie Pippen does have a point, but the problem is he used the wrong example. The last shot situation, or the 1.8 seconds, whatever title you want to give it, I don't think Phil was being racist or prejudiced in that situation. He was just giving the ball to who he felt could make a shot, and Tony made the shot. However, Phil being labeled a bigot is not something new. Scoop Jackson wrote an ESPN article regarding Phil possibly being a bigot when he made the comments that he made regarding the African-American community, when he made the comments with how Allen Iverson and how black basketball players were dressing, that their dress was like similar to that of a prison garb, and it represented thuggery, and it's because they listen to hip-hop music. The posse comment he made about LeBron James. So there have been red flags regarding Phil Jackson in that sense, but I just felt Scotty used the wrong example. So that's just my opinion there.
Lewis, thanks for weighing in, man.
No problem.
312-332-3776.
Hit the button, for God's sakes.
I did hit the button.
Not. You can still hear him in the background.
Yeah, because the button's busted.
No, here, you want
to
depress the button? You're an idiot! Now he's off the line. That's how you depress the button.
Zach, welcome.
Well, no, fellas, don't press the button on me, pressing on Scotty. Scotty going through some things, guys. I think that, with the whole situation, him not, seeing the documentary last summer, he's feeling his feelings. He did get, kind of robbed with the Bulls in the contract. He's been through a lot, but despite those things.
Okay, let's hold on the contract. He was told by Jerry Reinsdorf to not sign that deal. And by league rule, we cannot renegotiate this. Don't sign that deal. Scotty, hear me? Don't sign that deal. Nope, I want that deal.
And at the end, he actually did get his full boat.
Correct.
Going to Houston, right?
Going to Houston. Correct.
So he did actually get taken care of on the back end, Zach.
So you're right, and I'll take that. But think about Scott, and I'm not trying to defend Scotty because I think he's totally wrong to come out this way just to sell a book and some bourbon. Like, it's probably not that good, either one of them. So it's like, let's not pretend like Future didn't get up with his baby moms. Let's not pretend like Scotty isn't going through some things where he's trying to look younger, he's trying to feel younger, but he knows that certain things probably do eat him up. And that last second, that Tony Kukoc situation on the national stage, that probably still eats him up, guys. I mean, I just think that, to call somebody a racist in this climate, that's not going to get you nowhere unless you got hard facts. You know what I mean? Because that's one of the things, like, you don't want to be named a murderer or a rapist or anything like that. And so people don't like, the racist, the word racist just thrown out there, especially when that was particularly about strategy.
Yeah, Zach, from my standpoint,
Zach.
There's a lot of things that I can point at that are racist or against someone's race. It's plenty of examples of that every single day. But when you're having something that you've been thinking about sitting on for 27 years, you say, you know what? In hindsight, I believe that Phil was racist for not allowing me. First of all, you didn't get your ass off the bench. Let's talk about the facts. You didn't get your ass off the bench because the play was not called for you.
And Bill Cartwright begged him, don't do this.
Like, if you're not going to listen to Phil, listen to the captain.
Correct.
Listen to Cartwright. And he did that. He sat down. So they're going to run the play for Kukoc. Dude, understand this. And Pippen, for whatever reason, Zach mentioned it, like he's going through some things. Yeah, he's got the wild hair and he's saying things and he's talking about bourbons and books and all this other stuff. But just make sure it's very clear. You're still, at the end of the day, a top 50 player. One of the greatest players to ever play. You are aligned with Michael Jordan and a great organization like the Chicago Bulls. No one can take that away from you. But somehow, some way, it still eats you up that you weren't number one. Well, guess what? You were never going to be number one. And the time that you were number one, you were decent, but you were not necessarily on the same lines of Michael Jordan. If you're jealous of Michael Jordan, stand in line. A lot of guys were. They wish they were in the top of the heap. They wish they were. They couldn't get there because his airness was just that great.
He was the best.
Did either of you guys ever read that Scoop Jackson piece that Lewis just referenced? It's called Sacred Ignorance by Scoop Jackson. It was on ESPN Page 2 back in the day. I'm looking over it now. I mean, these quotes attributed to Phil are damning. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I have not read it. I would like to read it.
I've seen some of that stuff, and I think some of it all goes all the way back to the 70s, right, Danny? During his playing, where he references his playing days with the Knicks, right, about the style of play by the white basketball player.
Sure. And then some of them come from 99. Some of these quotes come from October 2005.
I will say, like Scott, sometimes there's no perfect messenger. Scotty's got his own foibles. That doesn't mean, though, what he's saying is necessarily untrue. But as the one caller pointed out, you do wish, if you're going to make an accusation like that and you want it to be out there, you would bring your own clear-cut evidence as to why you believe it, and not the Kobe Bryant piece that he made yesterday, which is more of a hypocritical stance by Phil, not necessarily racist. And then as Hoodie's pointed out time and time again, the right strategic move in having Tony Kukoc take the last shot.
All right. We will continue taking your calls. Don't call Lucas Giolito sticky fingers. It won't end well for you. Next.
You don't have to wait till you're in your car to hear what Cap and J Hood are talking about. Just tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 1000.
Last 9. Here's a pitch to Donaldson, and he cranks one in the air deep to left for a home run. A line shot, 2-run homer, his 12th of the season. And 2 batters in, it's 2-0 Minnesota.
Yeah, he was just sitting on a fastball, looking at his balance of his stance, was right in the middle. And that tells you he was not looking for anything slow. I think the result also tells you that.
Yeah, that's how it started last night over at the rate, guaranteed rate. And the White Sox were in a hole, but that isn't the big story. They won the game. That isn't the big story. The big story is that as Josh Donaldson crossed home plate, he looked out at Lucas Giolito, and said something. This is the post game.
Hey, Lucas, it looked like, looking at the replay, that Donaldson yelled something along the lines of, "It's not sticky anymore," after his home run in the first. Did you pick up any of that, and what's your reaction to him saying that?
I saw it after the fact. I mean, he's a pest. That's kind of a classless move. If you're going to talk to my face, you can go, cross home plate and do all that. Just come to me.
I mean, is that something you've dealt with him before along those lines?
No, it's just annoying. We won. The W's next to my name. They're in last place.
I mean, is that the sort of act that kind of you don't want to see it in terms of like what everyone's kind of going through in terms of adjusting and how the league he's kind of treating that situation?
It's just annoying, man. I don't really have much else to say other than that. I didn't see it during the game. I saw it after the fact.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Donaldson, it was a no-doubter, that home run. It got out of the ballpark so quickly. And, it's part of the Sox-Twins rivalry. I can't be surprised by what Donaldson did. It's part of that rivalry. I don't like the Twins. I told you, that's the team I dislike the most in sports. When they take on the Sox, it's always a rivalry for me. And so to see Donaldson do that, not a surprise. But then the clapback by Giolito talking about the standings and talking about the Twins being in last place and there's a W next to my name.
Good for him, man.
That just shows you, he's competitive. I like it.
I absolutely like it. And, Donaldson wants to talk trash. That's his business. But I love that Lucas didn't take the high road and go, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to address that.
You sure Gavin Sheets wasn't one of the biggest story? No? Wasn't the biggest story
yesterday? That was cool, making his major league debut. Absolutely, this is the biggest story. Because it's the same day that we announced Hector Santiago got suspended for 10 games. Apparently, once the umpire makes the ruling, they don't even really examine the glove. They took it and put it in a bag. MLB said we did not scour that glove to see what it was. If the umpire makes that the decision, that's it. Done.
Well, what's the final verdict on Gallego's hat from the St. Louis series?
That was pre the enforcement. There was no crackdown yet.
Well, they put it in the X-ray room, right? What's the finding?
They've never said.
See, this is nonsense.
Right.
It's just nonsense. And also, something that we have not talked about was just the no teeth into the statement by the commissioner.
Shocking.
Nothing.
He's the most impotent commissioner in sports.
How about that? You thought it was Bettman, but then, and then the baseball commissioner says, "Hold my beer." No stance. If this is Goodell, there are suspensions left and right in the National Football League. Left and right.
You cannot like Roger Goodell, but he is the sheriff.
He is. He is. He came in that way, though. Came in saying, you know what, guns a-blazing. This isn't right. I don't like your uniform. I don't like what you're doing here. We're going to suspend you. Now, it's a random wheel of justice. I will give this for Goodell. He's never had to deal with stuff that other commissioners ever had to deal with. Domestic violence. Never had to deal with that. Other commissioners have not dealt with
the Ray Rice thing.
Right. And on a serious level.
Correct.
Domestic violence used to be a couple games or a fine.
He gave Ray Rice because Ray and his then fiance, they're still married.
Happily married.
Correct. Mm-hmm. They got into this awful situation in the elevator. She went with Ray to meet with the commissioner and said, we're in a great place. We're getting married. Shouldn't have happened. We were both drinking. It's over. And he gave him 2 games and got destroyed for it.
And keep in mind, the video tells the story.
Correct.
It is the difference maker, the decider, right, when it comes to that. So Goodell's gone through it as commissioner from him. But this Major League Baseball, this is just amazing to me. So in other words, then why put the glove in the bag? If the umpires already made their decision, you're not going to investigate in New York? You're not going to look through it, see if there's any rosin that fell out of there? Nothing?
Apparently not.
Okay. Phil Cuzzy is the guy that makes the rules then. Phil Cuzzy, who was the umpire. He's going to make the rules, right? That's not right.
Agreed.
You go through a process, Cap. It can't be that simple. What if the umpire, one of your guys like Joe West just has it out for a guy? He'd do it. Joe West would go after a guy. Seems a little slippery here.
You're out.
It's like a speed trap cop. That's who Joe West is. I'm just telling you. You have it out for somebody. And he'd throw him out with his pinky finger. Out.
You're gone.
Because he doesn't have the arm strength anymore to get it out there. He doesn't give the, he doesn't do that. You're gone.
Yeah, he's like imitating JR. 312-332-3776. Joe's in Plainfield. He wants to weigh in. Hey, Joe, what's up, kid?
How you doing, buddy? I just a general. It's a stupid thing, but I didn't catch what Dan Patrick might have said in the interview, where Scotty gets a little, I don't know, ticked off and says, "Do you understand English?" to Dan Patrick. Do you know the part I'm talking about?
I remember that.
It's toward the end of the cut.
Correct.
Yeah.
I thought that was he upset with Dan Patrick? Did Dan Patrick say something I missed? But I thought that was kind of rude.
Well, in the context, it was Pippen trying to explain that Michael Jordan was orchestrating the cameras and the microphones. Do you recall this, right?
Here it is.
Yeah.
But I go back, and Phil designed a play for Steve Kerr when Mike was there. And Mike didn't have a problem with that, did he?
I don't want to. You're not setting me up to answer the right question. What do you mean Phil set up a play for Steve Kerr? He didn't set that play for Steve Kerr. He set that play for Michael Jordan.
I thought in the huddle, Mike says, "I'm going to throw you the ball. You'll be open at the foul line." And Phil had nothing to do with that?
And you don't want to get this show started because it'll take us a long time. Do you know all those cameras that's sitting in that huddle, who they was working for?
The NBA.
So you know who Michael was speaking to when he said that, right? That was planned. That was speaking to the camera. That wasn't speaking out of what we're going to have to do, what the play is going to be. That was speaking to the camera. Had John Stockton not came down, trust me. But that was building his own documentary because he knew he was controlling the cameras. You understand English?
Yeah.
Okay. So all those cameras that was working were working basically for Michael Jordan, not for the Chicago Bulls.
But
they were building the Come Fly With Me, the Air Jordan videos. That's what it was. That was not naturally spoken.
Okay. All right.
That was rehearsed.
There you go.
There you go, Joe.
There you go, Joe.
What do you think of that, Joe?
It's weird. It's just weird. Do you understand English? Why that phrase?
Yeah, it sounded like he was a little perturbed with, like, oh, boy, here we go. Hey, man, have a great day.
You too, bye.
All right, have a great day. We'll see you. 312-332-3776. I tell our guy the truth, in my opinion. Anthony Rizzo, I tell him, season's over.
It's the truth, in my opinion.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
I'll tell him that. We'll get his response next.
Oh, God.
Cap, J Hood.
This is Chicago's home for sports. ESPN 1000.
Watch the show on Twitch. Follow ESPN 1000 Chicago.
Rolling on the Cap J Hood Show. We'll be in Milwaukee later today, so if you're going to be at the ball game, perhaps we bump into each other up there. Come say hi. Hoodie and I will be there with some listeners, some great advertisers, some of our executives, and looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun up there, and see if they can find a way to win a baseball game. But as I said to you yesterday, Jonathan, no one wants that team to win more than me. There's a lot of great Cubs fans. I just don't see it. I do not see it. You got Zach Davies going 4 innings. I don't care how good the innings were. I said to you, he was really good for 4 innings, 2 hits. But the offense, your first baseman's injured again. We're going to get an update from him hopefully in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Your third baseman / multi-talented outfielder who going into June was one of the leading candidates for MVP.
Sure.
Is hitting 115 in the month or 114 or 16, whatever it is. And now he's banged up, so he wasn't available. I think you lost your 18th backup catcher last night on the last play of the game.
Louis
Vuitton.
Yeah.
He went diving over the pitcher, Hader, on the last play at first.
Yep.
When Hader missed the bag, dove back. and he was writhing in pain with his shoulder. I just don't see it. I think management had their idea, they had their plan, and this is playing into their narrative. That's just a fact. We'll get Anthony's thoughts on it.
All right, let's do that.
Anthony Rizzo with Cap and J Hood.
Rizzo to right. Out of here.
0-1, and Rizzo sends one to deep right field. No doubt about it.
Anthony Rizzo.
Rizzo in the air, well hit. It is a grand slammer.
A monster shot for Anthony Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo on Cap and J Hood right here on ESPN 1000.
Rizzo, R-I-Z-Z-O.
Anthony Rizzo brought to you by your Chicagoland Toyota dealers. Dear driver, hurry in and save Toyota and Valparaiso University. We go to Milwaukee. Again, where Hoodie and I will be later today watching the game from a skybox there. Anthony, good morning. First things first, how is your back?
Good morning, guys. It's actually feeling a lot better, thankfully. Well, I was a little nervous, but it responded well like it usually does, and hopefully it's only a couple more days.
Can you tell us the level of pain or discomfort that you have? You had this a couple of times, so just tell us what you're going through.
I mean, I think everyone can relate to back pain, especially the lower. It's really just annoyance, and times when it kind of grabs on you, there's really nothing you can do, and it's just about waiting for it to release. But I think with the history and the training staff, I think we have a good grip on being able to get it to unlock pretty quickly and strengthen the area, and then get back to the full force.
So I've seen you in the gym working out. You look like you're in amazing shape. You're built, like a big Adonis, and yet this has happened a few times. Do you worry that they're going to hold that against you when you get to free agency and you try and get a deal from these people?
Not really. I mean, with this, you kind of just, we know what it is. We know what we're dealing with. Had MRIs on it. It's nothing like it's like I'm walking around with with something too terrible. It's just one of those things that pops up, and we treat it and we get back to the field. I've never really missed too much time with it. It's definitely annoying, just not being able to play and being out there, and just having to sit and watch and feeling helpless. But, you just take it in stride, and it's hopefully a couple of days and not a couple of weeks.
Riz, how would you characterize the way the ball club's going right now? We just heard from David Ross earlier, who said, if you're down 6, that's a big number. You don't want to be 6 behind if you can. So what do you think of the state of the ball club, especially with you not being in the lineup?
Being down 6, we're down back 5 now. The thing with the Central is it seems like it's always going to be coming down to September in the end. Whether it's, a big lead now, a small lead. I feel like teams, the last few years have brought it down to the wire. But today's important. We got to go out and win a game and just kind of get this little skid off our backs. We just have to start playing better on the road. We've done really well at home, but on the road it hasn't really translated yet, and we just got to win a ball game.
Okay, so yesterday I said on this show, and I'll tell you why I said it, but I'm going to say it to you because I'm always honest. I said yesterday, the season's over. It's done. No one wants your team to win more than I do. I'm the hugest Cub fan going. But I know what upper management's plan was, and you have eloquently talked about that before. I truly believe they thought we built a team that's not going to win. You guys quieted them for a long time. You lose today and you're 6 back. Your starting rotation has had some injuries. It has had some struggles. Jake has struggled. Davies gave you 4 innings last night. So besides Hendricks, I don't see a lot of depth there. And I know what their plan is. So I truly believe, sad as it is, it's over. How do you respond to that?
It's we got to just play and win baseball games. The narrative outside is a narrative. I think with our experience on this club is we can control on the inside. It's just something we can't control. And winning games, I think 10 days ago, 12 days ago, I think a lot of people are feeling differently about our ball club. So it's the roller coaster of the season. It's the roller coaster of the nature of where we're at realistically franchise-wise, the ups and downs. But I think we go out and win a few ball games before the break, win a few ball games before the deadline, and we change that narrative and feel good. But obviously right now losing 5 games in a row is not fun, and we just got to win today.
Does it bother you at all, or do you get nervous thinking that phone could ring at any time? Maybe not for you, but, oh, God, we traded Kimber. Oh, God, we traded this guy. Like, does that go through your mind at all as you guys look up and potentially could be 6 back?
I think that just playing and the experience of playing so long and being through so many trade deadlines is that all these rumors that are going to be flying here in the next 5 weeks are rumors until they happen. And if you get caught up in it, then you're just doing yourself an injustice, in my opinion, just because, you're going to see guys flying. You're going to see what are the Cubs going to be doing. You're going to see what our other teams going to be doing. But you just got to stay the course and control. Really go to the basics on controlling what you can control, because if not, you can really let your mind go crazy.
Do you foresee yourself being back in the lineup, Riz, around the Cincinnati series on the road, or maybe back home against Philly?
It's day by day, so I'll push it and see, but also being smart. I really don't want this thing to pop up again. It's really deflating when you have to pull yourself out of the lineup and not play, especially with the guys. So, but it's definitely feeling a lot better than expected the last couple of days, so I'm encouraged by that.
As you look at this Brewers team, they've done a really good job developing starting pitching. Freddie Peralta, beast. Corbin Burns, beast. And you're going to miss him, but you also had to deal with Brandon Woodruff. What is your thoughts on that Brewer team? The Cubs have outspent them over the last 3+ years, $275 million more in payroll, but boy, they got a really good team.
Yeah, they're always good. They've always been good, and I've said this many times. I admire what Craig Counsell does. I think he does a really good job at managing them and managing the staff that he's had over the years. It seems like he pulls the right strings with the bullpen, anchored down by Hader, obviously, but he brings in guys that just step up in situations, and they're a good team, and I don't think they plan on going anywhere, and we plan on pushing them to the brink.
You understand, Riz, when we talk to Cub fans, and my partner obviously is a big Cub fan, and I told him, I told you this, you got to wait to the deadline to determine exactly which direction the Cubs are going. So, I mean, why aren't you patient enough to at least wait for another month?
You talking about me?
Yeah. Or Cub fans in general.
The reason I say what I say is it's because I truly believe it, because I don't see them going out and investing big money now to make additions. I think they built this thing by trading Darvish, not bringing Schwarber back, saying they're not going to be good enough, then we could do what we truly want to do. That's how I see it. And then I look up, 6 games back July 1st, that's a problem.
See, Riz, here's the issue. I think a lot of this is him being upset that Schwarber's turning to Sammy Sosa this month.
Schwarber is really impressing, and we've seen it in the end of 19. Him get hot and confident, and what he's doing now, his swing is so short right now and compact. It's amazing to watch. I'm really happy for him. It's a fresh start. You can't say if he was still here, he'd be doing the same thing. He got a fresh start with new guys and a new team, and he's a great person that could fit in anywhere. So you're extremely happy for him and the success he's having, and I hope he continues it because it's amazing.
Do you feel like the vibe in your clubhouse is still good, positive, or are guys, like in the last 2 years, then the pandemic hit, of course, but everyone's like, all right, this is the last dance. Okay, that's the last day. This truly is, because everybody's out of contract. Do you feel like there's any extra added stress in the room, or no, guys are just doing their job?
Yeah, guys are coming in. We're keeping it as loose as we can. I think honestly, up to this point, we've been a pretty good team and pretty fun team to watch as far as playing with energy, and guys showing their true colors out there and having fun. But as far as the extra pressure and stuff, I just think that this is what we have, and it's a new position for a lot of us. And I think with all of our experience, we just lean on it, and we continue to just lean on our routine and lean on each other and just continue to play.
Hey, man, we're going to be up there in a skybox today, and I know you're not going to be able to play, but we will be there watching. Hope the Cubs find a way to win a baseball game today.
Yep, we need it.
All right,
guys.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right.
See you. There he is, Anthony Rizzo, brought to you by Chicagoland Toyota dealers. Dear driver, hurry in and save Toyota and Valparaiso University. We've got a little very interesting statement that was just released. You're going to hear it. What is wrong with Jonathan Taves? He will answer that for you next.
This is Cap and J Hood. Enjoy the show each morning in your Instagrammies. At Cap J Hood on Instagram.
This is Chicago's home for sports.
ESPN 1000.
So, Jonathan Taves missed all of last season. There was all this wild, ridiculous speculation. Your postman would go, hey, you know what I heard about Jonathan Taves? Then you'd go into the produce department at the grocery. You know what I heard about Jonathan Taves? And we never dealt with any of it because it's wild, rampant rumor.
And the reason why that is because the NHL does not have a reporter that could have told us the news. You get this in you get this in the NFL, you get this in Major League Baseball, somewhat in NBA, but in NHL, everything is under the rug. Upper body injury, lower body injury, we never get the insider that you'd get. Where's the Woj of hockey? Where's the Schefter of hockey?
Well, maybe now that ESPN got it away from NBC, maybe that's coming.
Hopefully that'll be the case. But that's the reason why we had speculation, because we didn't know. But now it looks like we know.
Here is Jonathan Taves, in his own words, what exactly he was dealing with for the last year.
It feels great. It's been a long time. Honestly, I haven't taken this much time off the ice probably ever since I was a kid at least. So it's definitely nice to be back in Chicago, see some of the guys again, and just slowly but surely just kind of settle into to the life and to the routine again. So it's a good feeling right now. I just think there's a lot of things that just kind of piled up where my body just fell apart. And so what they're calling it was chronic immune response syndrome, where I just couldn't quite recover, and my immune system was reacting to everything that I did, any kind of stress, anything that I would do throughout the day. Just there was always kind of that stress response. So it took some time, and that was the frustrating part, was not really knowing when or how we were going to get over the hump. But thankfully, I got a great support team of people that helped me through it, and learned a lot about just the stress I put on my body over the years. And I appreciate all the support, and a lot of people were worried, and definitely felt bad to a certain degree that people were that worried that they thought it was really serious. But in the back of my mind, I'd get through it. It was just a matter of time. I wasn't too vocal about the things that I went through this year, and definitely want to thank the fans. I mean, my teammates, the organization, Rocky, Stan, Jeremy, everybody, and the fans especially. I think talked about the things that you appreciate and things that you maybe take for granted. But I think number one thing is I've had so many people across the hockey world and fans and people that have shown their support. And I think that's the biggest thing, is you realize there's more to life than hockey. But I'm excited to get back to the United Center and play. And just go out there and have fun. And I think my best is going to come through, and excited to get back in front of the fans.
Great to hear that it is not all what the rampant speculation was, and looking forward to seeing him back on the ice.
Danny, give us a little bit more information on what Taves went through.
So I've been doing some Google, chronic inflammatory response syndrome. A lot of people call it mold sickness. Mm-hmm. And I guess a lot of way people get this is living in moldy, damp, wet houses where they don't know that there's mold. And it, like he said, it affects your immune system where every little thing causes you to feel either tired, lethargic, sore. So, you know, you're a professional hockey player and you're having a workout the way that he does. He's not able to rebound as quickly as the next guy or gal that's, you know, doing something like that. It would be interesting to see how he caught this, or if they even know how he got this. That would be an interesting follow-up. I don't know how open he wants to be about that. But is it fair, guys, to question the timing of this? Like, is it fair to say the Blackhawks have had some really bad press the last 2 weeks? All of a sudden, the captain of the team, arguably one of the most popular players to ever wear the Blackhawks sweater, comes out with good news today. Is it fair to say to themselves, why today?
Well, I mean, he is the biggest name player other than Kane.
Sure.
Since the glory days of Hall, Makita, Esposito,
Sure.
Savard. Was there a good time if he did it 2 weeks from now? It's still going to be getting investigated, the other thing.
Yeah, you know what Danny's shooting at, though. What we talked about last Friday and reviewing what the Athletic was able to find regarding sexual misconduct within the organization. And Danny's pretty much asking, like, why has this come out now? Do you think I think, Danny, without putting words in your mouth, you believe that the Hawks need a good spin, a good story here.
Yeah. Hey,
you're calling it a wag the dog.
Listen, John. There's nobody that doesn't love Jonathan Taves in this city. Whether you're a huge diehard Blackhawks fan like Meller or you're just a fringe Blackhawks fan, Jonathan Taves is the guy. Him and Patrick Kane. You love those two guys. All of a sudden, the Blackhawks have had some really bad press lately. Just 2 days ago, the NHL commissioner Gary Bettman was out, and he's even talking about the Blackhawks scandal. You know there's going to be more investigations. You said that heads need to roll, Cap. All of a sudden, Jonathan Taves has good news for the Blackhawks fans. Listen, I'm not saying that they pushed him to do this, but like if he knew that he had this 4 months ago, he could have said so. You know, there was rampant speculation about him having this, that, and the other. Horrible rumors about possible things he could have had. He could have stopped that right then and there and said, this is what I'm dealing with. Or he could have waited and announced it closer to training camp. Like, why today?
Well, if it's happenstance or not, I'm happy for Jonathan Taves. And here's the thing, though, Danny, because we know the stories that's happening behind closed doors with the Blackhawks, with this guy that they kept around the organization and also got him a job. I'll never forget it. Because we got to find out exactly what's going to happen there. So I can be able to enjoy the Taves story, but also, you know, cast aspersions on the Blackhawks based on the stories we read from theathletic.com.
Completely agree with you. I think it's awesome that he's going to come back and that he wanted to provide this clarity. It still doesn't change the fact that Jenner and Block, one of the biggest law firms in the world, was just retained by the Blackhawks to investigate a sexual scandal.
Yes.
A sex scandal in the organization with one of their former coaches.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't change it. So
I'm not suggesting whatsoever it does. What I'm suggesting is it's the old sleight of hand. While we're looking over here, they now want to change our direction
the wag
over
the dog
here.
theory that when Clinton was being investigated for Lewinsky, we got a war going on all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
But this one, it's great news. He's back. Okay, we still got to deal with all that over there.
Yeah.
So, if he'd have done it in a month, the investigation won't be complete. There was no perfect time for this.
You and I got a bus to catch.
Yes, we do. We got to go. We're going to Milwaukee.